Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second installment of a multi-part series on OKRs for partner programs. This is actually the second episode in which we're going to be going over initiative groups or teams and groups of teams and objectives that are going to be executing what we went over in the prior episode, which was the why, the what, and the how. So what we're going to do now is jump back into our trusty Miro board and go over what we did in the prior episode so we can get up to speed. And then we're going to dive into the details of setting up the initiative group within the OKR for partner programs. So without any further ado, everybody, here we go. So then yesterday, again, just to review, in the first episode, we went over the why. Okay, the why in this case is to build an ecosystem of partners that progresses our brand objectives and increases revenue. So that's the example why of the partner program. From there, we went on to strategic objectives of what and the how. So the top of the OKR, just to review, is a strategic board of what we would like to execute. Then we have the initiative groups, who is going to be actually doing this. And then from there, we have the teams of the activities, features, and stories. So today, what we're going to focus on really is going to be this. We're going to focus on is the initiative group, team and group of teams objectives. And just to review, we identified 6 different strategic objectives related to the why of a partner program. And we kind of, we went through a little bit of exercise in the last video about, what is a what is a how is this going to happen, how's that going to happen? So now let's continue on. So we identified that we have product and services as part of the partner program. So these would be, in your business, what you offer the market, how you offer it. Is it a productized SaaS? Is it a professional service? Is it another kind of service? So these are basically the line items that you're going to be selling into the market via a partner. Then we have the actual program. What is something? We have the actual program, infrastructure management, authorization, ops, deal reg, ecosystems, all sorts of good stuff. That's the what and the how. And then we have deployment, right? So you have the product, you have your service. How are you going to get it into the market? And how is a partner program going to ensure that there's quality of deployment, quality of communication, and overall quality of experience with you, the partner itself? Then as we move on, we have marketing. Right? How are we launching marketing efforts? What are we doing there? Then we have relationship management. How are the relationships going to get managed after the project's been managed, after that end client signs the contract? And then of course we have support. So when something goes wrong or somebody has a question, how are they going to be supported? Via the program, via the platform where the program is having. So now what we're going to do is we're looking at teams and groups of teams objectives. So now when we look at teams, for product and services, it's pretty clear, right? The product is going to be involved with this with these objectives. So product is definitely going to be a key component, right? But now in terms of product and services, there's also going to be leads. Or there's going to be thought leaders as well that we have to think about. But outside of thought leaders, like if you have a product, this might be too confusing. So if you have a product, we have service teams. So we have a product team, we have a service team, and let's say we have even potentially a management team. If the organization is big. So we have products, we have services, and we have management. So let's take these 3 and let's start to kind of divide and conquer, right? So now when we go down from there, I look at features and user stories. We're going to have features and user stories based upon the activities of the product team, based upon the activities of the services team, and then potentially the activities of the management team. The management team will kind of work on figuring out those storylines as we move along. So now we have an interesting one, right? So now we have first of all, we have to move these boxes over. A little bit of I have to do a little bit of maintenance here, and just to make sure that we're kind of lighting everything up correctly. Just give me just 2 seconds here. Okay, good. So I'm going to kill that. I'm going to kill that. So now we have the actual partner program, right? And the partner program is specifically next to deploy for a reason. Deployment and partnerships do go hand in hand because we want to make sure that what is sold into the end client is getting deployed and supported correctly, so that there could be the potential of a lot of repeatable business. So now we have the partner program, and this partner program now is going to bleed over into a few different sections. So if we just kind of focus in on this part of the board, we have the partner program, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the different parts of the wheel that we're going to kind of put into that program. So we'll take our wheel over here and just kind of copy it in, right? So here we're gonna have a few different things here. So in the partner program, we're gonna have infrastructure. Oh, actually, first start with partner management, right? So we have partner management. We're going to have partner infrastructure. We're going to have partner operations. Okay, and what we're going to do here, so I can already see that we're not going to have enough frames, so I'm just going to move some of that stuff over so you can have some proper amount of room. Okay. Okay, so if ops, we're gonna have an authorization program in here. And the other thing that we have to take into account is that although there are a decent amount of deliverables that we're going to be talking about, with our time together today, from a top level, we also have to remember that, we also have to remember that, like, software support, there's a lot of different things that are pre-existing in companies that will be able to bring this whole vision to life. So if you're watching this video and you're maybe a one-person partner program, or maybe you're a partner leader and you have a lot of different people on your team, the good news is that as we move along and kind of build out this OKR, we don't need a person necessarily to operate in all of these different areas. There are a lot of ways that software, that portals, that existing software and client infrastructures can take care of all of this. So the good news is that all this is extremely scalable over time, and the cool thing is, about dealing with partnerships is that you could start out as like literally a one-person show and basically grow into an entire program, with an infrastructure like this. So is this a growth hack? Not really. It's more about establishing the right foundation to really scale your program, into the future. And again, it doesn't require a large amount of people, but it will require, cross-functional conversations and even cross-functional thought leadership when it comes to partnerships. So that's one thing to take into account. So don't get overwhelmed by any of this. It's really just providing proper infrastructure and setting proper expectations as to the fundamentals that you'll need to build and grow your program. So now that we have the partner program defined in much greater detail, we can now get into the weeds in terms of getting all this getting all this hooked up to each other. So now from the partner program, we're going to have again management, right? We're going to have infrastructure. We're going to have operations. We're going to do an authorization program, which are always really fun. We're going to do deal registry management. We're going to do ecosystem development. And then finally, we're going to round it off with value creation. Now, if you say to yourself, okay, Jason, hey, cool story, bro. So, okay, so we're a few minutes into this video, and it's like you just basically blew up this entire thing and defined the program. Why is it in this order? Because in order to really go from like 0 to 1 and above, You have to have the right management in there, so somebody to run it. You have to have the right infrastructure that's going to be your base. You have to be operationally savvy enough to know how to pivot and adapt as needed. You're going to need to authorize your partners so that you know that they've taken on the responsibility of learning your platform and being able to get to the market. Once they get to the market, you have to register deals and you have to manage it. From there, you have to basically manage the ecosystem of partners that are delivering deals and registering them. And then from there, you're in a constant loop right now of creating more and more value creation as the ecosystem grows to deliver more deal reg, to deliver more authorized partners that need to be managed and operationalized through the right infrastructure, through the right people to manage that program. So this is something that I used in my days in NetSuite, my days at Penta, my days in other enterprises that were either e-com or ERP focused, and dealing with very, very complex use cases, very, very complex partnerships. And this is really the system that I use in my career, to build success. And it's a very similar model to what we use for our clients, if not the same model, to build their success as well. And now we're going to get into everything else: relationship management, marketing, support. And all of these by design are going to be as simplistic as we can get in the beginning, right? So here, when it comes to deployment, right, we're basically going to deal with like SMEs and solution, let's say solution engineers, right? Because for deploying, we want to be able to tap into the experts in the room, but we want to be able to use them on the side of the platform, not abuse them. So a large part of the authorization program is that there's a direct connection between authorization and kind of like this deployment phase, right? Because the thing is, when you authorize correctly and you're deploying, the solution engineers should be consulted with over time. And that's really going to be their activity. Their activity is going to be consultation, right? It's not going to be actual doing, because if you have partners trained up and then you have SMEs in there, the goal is really to really get them to understand what you're doing, but not have them rely. Because if they rely too much on this position, it's going to blow up the entire program. So right here with marketing, we're going to have partner marketing, okay, which is going to be pretty clear. The partner marketing team is going to be events, it's going to be collateral. So relationship management is going to be partner prospects to partner prospect to client. And we'll go over that more in depth in the next video. And then support, the strategy there is going to be partner support team. There's going to be workflows and ticketing portal, right? And i.e., for example, you can use Jira as a ticketing portal. So now let's go over a few things. Right now. So now, when we first started our exercise in the first episode, we primarily dealt with the strategic board. The strategic board being the why, the what, and the how. Today, we start to get a little bit more into the weeds of operations and operationalizing the how with team and group of team objectives. So product and services. So the objective there is product and service deliveries, as well as management of those teams. And then within product, we're going to have licensing, servicing, we're going to have pricing, management, we're going to have managed services and other services. So we're going to get more in depth into that in later videos. With the partner program, again, we went over the different parts of the program: management, infrastructure, ops, authorization, deal reg and management, ecosystem dev, value creation. Over here with deployment, we're going to basically talk about SMEs and solution engineers, how they're going to play a role. With marketing, we'll talk partner marketing, and we have more in depth to that tomorrow. With our next video, relationship management, partner, prospect to client, and then support is going to be supporting everybody in its totality. So that was a lot. Once we start to get into the weeds of these programs, you start to see what partner managers need to be, super successful, either within their own organizations, if they're like an entrepreneur, if you're a partner manager that's just one person, these exercises, can really help level set expectations across organizations and really start to stabilize. If you're managing a larger program and things are going off the rails, this can really help bring everything into the core and back into stability. And if you've never had a program before and you would like to build a program, this is a sampling of the fundamentals, at least that I've experienced over my career, and where I found most of my success. So thank you for watching, everybody, this second episode of OKRs for Partnerships, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. So thank you for watching, and see you soon. Thank you.